Welcome to The Lift. Today we are going to be talking about a very famous passage in James chapter 2. It starts in verse 14. Now if you're just joining us, for the past week we talked about James chapter 1, and then just yesterday we talked about James chapter 2. We're in our series called Rooted, and it's all about becoming more grounded in what God has designed for us and becoming more and more like Him based on what we're soaking up. And today is all about how our lives can reflect what it is we're really holding on to. Today in James chapter 2, starting in verse 14, it says this: "What good is it, dear brothers and sisters, when we have faith, but we don't show it by our actions?" And think about that. Think about, there's so many people that say, "Oh yes, I have faith. Oh yes, I have faith," but then they are the biggest just jerks all of the time. Or maybe they're just those grumpy people, but they always say, "Oh, I have faith," or they're the first to turn away and get so upset when the slightest bad thing happens. But they keep saying, "Oh, I have faith. Oh, I have faith. I'm rooted in what God has planned for me." How silly is that when we think about it in those terms? Are you someone who says, "Oh yes, I have faith," but then you don't live it out? Because if you're one of those people, I would say maybe your faith isn't really what you think it is. We've talked about it several times about how whatever a tree is rooted into, that is what the tree will grow like. If the tree has good nutrients, guess what? The tree is going to grow big and strong because it's getting everything that it needs. Or if a tree is rooted into bad nutrients, then the tree's growth will be limited by what it can soak up. In the desert, there are plants, but those plants are much smaller and much thinner than the plants that we see out in the normal world. Where are your roots? And if your roots are planted in what you say they're planted in, why is your life not reflecting that? Think about this. When roots start soaking up nutrients, the roots don't hold the nutrients underground. That wouldn't work. If the roots just soaked up everything that they needed and you had these giant, huge roots growing underground, but the tree was a tiny little twig, that wouldn't make any sense. And that's just like saying that you have faith, but your life isn't showing it. If you say you have faith and your roots are growing big and big and big and big, but your life isn't reflecting it, you're that tiny little tree. That's not how it works. If your roots are really planted in what you say they're planted in, if you really have the faith that you say you have, your life will begin to reflect that. And it goes on to say, it says, now some people say they have faith and other people say they have actions, but I want to know, how can you tell me you have faith without your actions? And that's exactly what the world is looking for. How can you say, "Oh yes, I believe in God," but your life doesn't reflect it at all? That's why there are people who don't believe. Gandhi, one time he said, "I have no trouble with your Jesus or your Christ. What I have trouble with is your Christians. They are nothing like your Christ." Think about it like that. If we really are rooted, if we are saying we believe in Jesus, then why are our lives not reflecting that? Why are people not seeing Jesus when they look at us? If we are rooted in it, then our lives will have no choice but to begin to live more and more like it. Just like the tree will grow big and strong because it's rooted in good nutrients, our lives, our faith will grow big and strong, and our actions will grow bigger and stronger based on where our faith lies. Don't be someone who says that they have these strong roots, but their lives don't reflect it at all. Be someone who is truly rooted, and then you won't have any choice but for your actions to reflect it. If you can do that, then you will see and the world will see that you are rooted in what truly matters. This is The Lift.
Hey everybody, this is Matt Smith here for your fitness tip of the day. Today I just want to talk about the lat pull-down exercise because this is one that I see a lot of people do wrong in the gym. What you want to do is just grab the bar, and when you pull it down, you're just going to pull it down to your chest, you're going to have us lean slightly back and extend all the way up at the top. Now this is what I typically see a lot. People will just pull down using just all arms, and then also people will lean all the way back as they pull down. You don't really want to swing back because it takes away from the exercise. Again, this is Matt Smith. Remember, strength is more than muscles. This is the lift.